Hey guys, and welcome to the next Python video. In this one we're going to go over a bit more in depth with lists. So the first thing I'll do here, I'll actually just make a list. And it'll contain a couple numbers like 5, 6, 10. So I got a list of 3 things, so we can print it out. So if we run this code, it's going to make a list that contains 5, 6, and 10. And then it's just going to print it to the screen. So 5, 6, 10. There it is. But what if we want to add something to that list? What you can do is, because this thing is its type is a list, types have certain functions that they can perform on themselves. So what I mean by that is if I type in my list and put a dot, what this means is it says, hey, access this thing called my list, and because it is the type, it's of type list, lists can do certain things, and to have them perform those certain actions you put a dot, and what follows after the dot is what function of the list you want it to do. And you'll learn these over time, and there's millions of them for all different types of types, and really you're not going to remember all of them. You'll learn how to read documentation online and find it real quick if there's something you want to do that, like I don't know, like the one I'm going to show you is called append. So there's a function every list has called append, and it's where you can add something to the end of a list. And eventually, over time, there's certain ones like append's really common. You'll just memorize this one, but there are other ones that are not so common. And when you're learning programming, you're gonna be like, man, how do you remember all these like keywords and functions? And the fact is, you don't. A lot of like more uncommon ones you learn, you just learn how to look them up on Google. You don't actually memorize all of them, but there are certain ones like append, like it's real common. You'll memorize this one. So if I want to add something to a list, so I got my list, it's 5, 6, 10, and I want to add the number 7 to it, I can just do append, and it adds the number 7 to it. So now if I print my list, you can go to run module, and it will be 5, 6, 10, 7, because I appended the number 7 to it. If you want to remove something, you can do mylist.remove and then remove the number 5. And what it's going to go, it's going to remove the number 5. So we can do print my list, and now it removed the 5, 6, 10, 7. Now a common question you might have is, what if we have 2 number 5s? So we have 5, 5, 6, 10. I actually haven't had to do this in a while, so I'm pretty sure what it's going to do is it's going to remove the first instance of a 5, and it's going to leave this other 5 alone. So if we do my list remove 5, it's going to check each thing one at a time. Is there a 5 here? Yes, there is. Remove it, and then it's going to stop. So if we go to run module, yeah, so it just removes the first instance. So if you wanted to remove both of them, you would have to type this in twice. So remove 5, it's going to find a 5 there and remove it, and it's going to go to this other line of code, remove 5, and it'll be here, and it'll remove the second one. There are a ton of like functions you can do on a list, and the way you learn them is if you go to Python documentation. This is kind of Python's documentation website, and I'll admit it's kind of like overwhelming at first to go in here and try and find something. As a matter of fact, I don't even normally do this. I kind of go to Python list methods. So say I want to know like every possible function that they call them methods, but every type of method that a list has in Python, just Google Python list methods, and generally the first well, this link right here, data structures, let's click on this one. Yeah, see, here's everything a list can do. So I don't know if you can read that. Let me zoom in. So there's like append, which is the one we just learned. And you just learn to kind of go through here and read everything a list can do. Clear if you want to remove everything from a list. You can just type in whatever the list name is. You replace this list name with the actual name of your list and just put .clear, and it erases everything. List.count returns the number of items. So on list.count, you would type the name of your list and put the word count, And whatever you pass in here, like say I pass the number 5, see there's 2 5s in it. It'll count how many times the number 5 appears in it. So mylist.count and then pass a 5 into it. So mylist.count, how many times does the number 5 show up in my list, and it's going to print that to the screen. So run, and it should be a 2, and there it is. So it comes in 2 times. But as you can see, there's a ton of stuff lists can do, and it gives you all types of examples on here. One thing I want to show you with lists. Say I want to pull up. So this list, it has the number 5, the number 5, the number 6, and the number 10. Say I want to find the first thing in the list. I want to print it to the screen. So I want to print my list, and I want to print the first thing in the list. And the way you would do that is right after you type the name of the list, put open and close square brackets, and then you can pass a number in here, like 0, 1, 2, 3, and this is called an index. So, and remember, indexes always start at 0. So this is position 0, position 1, position 2, position 3. If I want to pull the first thing in the list and print it to the screen, you can do my list and index 0, and this should print the number 5. And there it is. So I want to say position 0, 1, 2, 3. I want to print position or index 3 to the screen. So this should print 10. And there it is. Now what happens if I want to do position 4, which doesn't exist? I have 0, 1, 2, 3. So there is no 4. This will actually give you an error message, and this is a real common one you'll see too, and you got to debug code. It'll say like out of range. Yes, list index out of range, which it's exactly what it sounds like. You're providing it an index that's beyond the range of this list. So you're saying what's position 4, which would be over here, but there is no position 4. So yeah, that's how you would access certain indexes within a list. You just type it. That's the syntax for it. My list, open close bracket, with whatever index you want to grab out of it. And this is real common, so get used to doing this, and you'll see us do it later on when we work on projects. Get used to going to Google and typing in what can you do with lists. Another example, we learned strings, so you can do like Python string methods. And usually you want to go to the website that says docs.python.org. That's like the official website. And just like with lists, if we type a string, where's my Python? There we go. Well, if we type a string like name equals Jody, this also has, so we can do name and then a dot, and then we can run methods on this list. And I already know some of them, like we can do print name dot title, I believe is one. I think this is right. So dot title, what it does is it treats it like an actual name. It'll capitalize the first letter of each word. So this should print Jody with a capital J. Yeah, so see it capitalized Jody. And there's also upper, which uppercases every character in it. So there's Jody in all caps. You can do lower, which will lowercase everything. And there's a bunch of other ones. And here they all are. You just go to the website and just have fun and mess with all of them. And there's no way you'll memorize all these. There's just so many for every single type that's built into Python. But you'll get used to knowing how to look them up on Google and on Python's official website. Oh, actually, this is important. If you'll notice at the top, the link I clicked on went to Python 2.7. There's a lot of things that are different in 2.7 that they changed in version 3. So make sure you click the correct version of Python, because the functions, the names of things and how you format them can be different, especially from version 2 to 3. It's not that different from like 3.5 to 3.8, but from version 2 to 3 it's very different. A lot of stuff changed. So just keep that in mind and be mindful of looking that up there. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video.